A lot of people think emotional disconnection just happens. Like one day you're close and the next day something feels off. But the truth is, emotional disconnection is not random. There are patterns, there are causes, and if you don't understand them, you can't really fix them. Someone once said, I don't even know when we stopped being close. I just know we are not the same anymore. And that confusion is very real because disconnection is usually not one big event. It's a series of small things that slowly creates distance. Hi, I'm Dr. Jane, a counseling psychologist, and this is Life of a Nigerian Online Counselor, a space where we make sense of relationship struggles, emotional patterns, and the things people feel but don't always have words for. And in this series, we've been talking about emotional disconnection. Recently, someone reached out to me and asked, what actually leads to emotional disconnection? And I thought, that's a very important question because when you understand the why, you're in a better position to address it. So let's talk about it. I'll be sharing 7 common causes of emotional disconnection and you may find yourself relating to more than one. Okay, let's jump right into it. 1. Unresolved issues. When problems are not properly addressed, they don't just disappear, they settle. And over time, those unresolved feelings turn into distance. For some people, especially those who are more avoidant in their attachment style or naturally introverted, it can feel easier to just move on than to talk things through. They may think, I don't want stress, let me just leave it. But what often happens is this. The situation is avoided, but the feelings are not resolved. And those feelings don't just vanish. They linger and quietly change how they relate with their partner. So over time, they may become less open, less expressive, less emotionally available without even realizing it. Avoiding the issue may feel easier in the moment, but if there's no room for honest conversations about hurts, differences, or misunderstandings, then there's no room for repair. And real repair only happens through honest conversations. 2. Poor communication patterns. So it's not just about whether you guys are even talking, it's how you talk. So if communication feels dismissive, harsh, aggressive, critical, or emotionally unsafe, then connection naturally begins to weaken. For example, if a partner is used to saying hurtful or degrading things, even jokingly, or takes private relationship matters to friends or family, the other person may not always speak up, but internally, something shifts. They begin to protect themselves. They share less, they open up less, and gradually they disconnect. Not because they don't care, but because staying open no longer feels safe. This naturally affects the expression of affection and intimacy too. Number 3, emotional shutdown. Some people don't engage emotionally when things get intense. They withdraw, they go quiet, they shut down. And over time, this creates a gap because connection requires presence, especially during difficult moments. So when one person keeps reaching and the other one keeps withdrawing, that distance grows. Then the 4th one, feeling unseen, disrespected, or unappreciated. Now this one is one of the most common and often underestimated causes because it's usually in the little things. When effort is not acknowledged, when appreciation is not expressed, when someone feels taken for granted over time. For example, your partner does thoughtful things for you, but it's rarely acknowledged, or you appreciate them in your mind, but you don't say it out loud. If it's a woman, she puts effort into how she looks, how she shows up, how she manages the home, how she supports her partner, but she doesn't feel noticed or affirmed. And if it's the man, he puts effort into responsibilities, showing up in practical ways, providing, leading, making sacrifices, but it's not recognized or appreciated. Even special moments like birthdays, important days, small wins, if they are treated like just another day or not met with the expected enthusiasm, it slowly sends a message. I am not being seen. And over time, that affects connection deeply because feeling valued is a big part of feeling connected. The 5th one I'll be talking about is life stress and emotional exhaustion because sometimes it's not even the relationship itself, it is life. work stress, financial pressure, daily responsibilities, and especially parenting. Taking care of a baby, sleepless nights, constant attention and responsibility, that phase alone can be very draining. So if one partner feels overwhelmed or unsupported, it affects their emotional capacity. Both people may be trying their best, but they are tired. So when people are emotionally exhausted, they may still be present physically, but have very little left to give emotionally, and that creates distance. Another one is different emotional needs and expectations. Not everyone connects in the same way. One person may value deep conversations, frequent emotional check-ins, while the other may not require that. They don't even naturally express themselves that way. So if this difference is not understood, one person feels like you're not giving me enough, while the other feels like I'm trying, but it doesn't seem enough. And over time, this mismatch creates frustration and eventually disconnection. Now, the seventh one is lack of intentional efforts over time. Now, at the beginning of every relationship, connection feels natural, almost effortless. But then there's effort, there's curiosity, there's attention. But over time, if that intentional effort is not maintained, connection fades. Not suddenly, but gradually, because emotional connection is not just built, it is maintained. And that maintenance looks like creating time to talk, not just about logistics, but about the relationship itself. Checking in emotionally. How are we doing? Are you happy with me? Are there things I can do to make you happier? Making each other feel seen, valued, remembered. Then spending quality time together without distraction and being intentional about staying connected even when life gets busy. Other causes include, of course, attachment style clashing, disappointment in partner, feelings of inadequacy, to mention a few. And the truth is, emotional disconnection is rarely caused by just one thing. It's usually a combination of these patterns happening repeatedly over time, quietly. So if you are experiencing disconnection, this is not just about blame. It's about understanding what has been happening between us, that created this distance, because awareness is the first step towards reconnection. And this is something I see a lot in therapy, and helping people recognize their patterns, understanding their emotional needs, and learning how to reconnect in healthier ways. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. Now, which of these causes stood out to you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you think this might help someone, please feel free to share with them, and do turn on your notifications so you don't miss our next video. I'm Dr. Jane, and this is Life of a Nigerian Online Counselor.